has such teeth, dear, and it shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old McHeath.
Welcome to episode 5 of Pittsburgh Dive Bar Talk. I'm DeVenzio. This is Tiny. Our live studio audience is here back for another one, so we must be doing something right. Welcome, Guru. We actually had 2 people here a little before, another person, but she left. So, but we got a strong audience of 1, so we are going to include him in a couple things here.
When we make it big, we'll do a live show once. Maybe
Yeah.
see if we can't figure out how to screw that up.
We will. We've already screwed up something. Zelda the dog's already hit the camera. We've never had 2 takes before. This is the second one.
There you go.
And I really don't have an introduction, but what you gave me crap last week for when I used the word slacks because I was so old and I used that word, and there's truth to that. But what's your generation called?
I think we're Gen X.
Is that what you are? Gen X?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give your generation a little crap here. A couple days ago, I'm in my car traveling north on Route 19, and I'm stopped at a light. And I'm about 8 cars deep, and there's a Starbucks right to my right. And I've never been in a Starbucks, and I'm never going, by the way. But I'm 8 cars deep, and there's someone that wants to come out of the Starbucks. And if you're not familiar with Route 19, there's 2 lanes that go north, 2 that go south, and then there's one of those middle turn lanes in there too. So actually, the person in front of me should have let this person go, but they didn't. So I took a look, and what are you, Gen X, you say?
Yeah.
She was a Gen X in her SUV, and she was borderline hot. So I said, I'll let her out. And I said, come on. I'm assuming she's taking a right and going north.
Oh.
She decides she's coming across going the other way when there's a car barreling down in the passing lane who has to slam on his brakes and almost jackknifed into me.
Wow.
Obviously, I would have felt bad if she got injured because she would have been broadsided there.
Right.
But I'd have felt worse if my damn car got hit. You know, I was being a nice freaking guy. So, Gen X people, look both ways before you cross the street. Maybe you've never heard that crap before, but damn, it does not just apply to pedestrians. It applies to when you're in the car too. So please look both ways.
I'm gonna defend Gen X and say it was a woman driver. Let's be honest. I mean,
oh, you just pissed off some people. Okay, I want everyone to hear that because so far I've gotten all the crap. That was Tiny that said that. I was just making fun.
I'm just saying. Misty's a Gen Xer, and her driving record is less than perfect.
Well, if this chick keeps doing this, her driving record is going to be over because if this guy didn't have good reflexes in the Jeep,
Right.
It could have been a death. It could have been a death because he wasn't like going on 19. You don't go 55, but probably 40, and that would be a pretty good collision broadside.
Sure.
But okay, that's my introduction to episode 5, and then next segment we're going to talk about some borderline famous people. Our 3rd week in a row, I've talked about the first time it was famous people that I pissed off, and the last week it was famous people that I had a drunken encounter with. Well, I guess we just call this brush with greatness. These are people that I had a short experience with, and I'll just, like I said, each story's not great in itself, but when you put them together, maybe we have something here. The first 3 have to do with me running a basketball camp. I ran a basketball camp, and it moved throughout the country, and we used different college campuses. So we go to one campus to another, and you never knew who was going to be there. Sometimes summer school was going on. Sometimes there were other activities, whatever the case may be. So in this first case, we were up at Bryant College in Smithfield, Rhode Island. And my wife's walking a little in front of me. I'm with somebody else. and some guy comes by and almost hits her with his bike. And she's like, I forget if she fell. I can't really remember. I kind of felt like, you ever see Fever Pitch, the movie?
I have not.
Okay, the ball, there's a foul ball goes in there and hits his girlfriend and knocks her out. And it goes to his friend, and he's high-fiving his friend, and it's on TV, the highlights, and his girlfriend's laying there like that. My wife's like that. I'm telling my buddy, that's Bill Belichick. That's Bill Belichick that just went by. As it turned out, that was the first day. I didn't really know. We were sharing the campus. There was no summer school. It was my basketball camp and the New England Patriots. And as it turned out, you see why this was at the very beginning when they were just getting good. But you saw his focus because he almost hit a lot of people. By the end of the week, I saw him all the time, but he was just going from one place to another. He used that bike so he could save some time. And he never looked at anybody, never said hi to anybody. But he was going. And to this day, most people in Pittsburgh hate the Patriots because of they beat the Steelers all the time. My wife hates the Patriots because Belichick ran her over on the bike and didn't even slow down, I might add.
Didn't bother to check or anything.
No. Okay, case number 2 from a basketball camp. I think we were on Western Illinois University, and I knew we were sharing the campus with at the time, St. Louis Rams. And it's so different from. Have you ever seen the Steelers practice? Have you ever been out there?
I've been, a couple times.
Okay, if you're from Pittsburgh, you know this. Most of you. You go out to their practice, and there's thousands of people, and you sit in stands, and it's crowded a lot of days. And if you want an autograph, you have to go on the other side and line up along this sidewalk that they may or may not give you an autograph. But the St. Louis Ram thing. We had about a half hour right after our session, and I knew we could make it back to the cafeteria. So I was with my son-in-law, and I said, let's go watch the Rams practice real quick. So we walked over there. First of all, you're right on the fence. I mean, the huddle's about 20 yards from you, and you can hear everything they're saying in the huddle. I mean, you're that close.
That's awesome.
It was. After being at the Steeler thing where,
it's very processed. You're
not part of it, really. It's nice, but, you just walked right up, and you could hear everything. You could hear guys bitching at each other and stuff like that. But anyway, all of a sudden I said, I looked at my watch. I said, we got to get back. We got to get to the cafeteria if we want to get our dinner. And all of a sudden, they roped it off for autographs. So I'm walking, and all of a sudden the rope stops me, and I look up. It's Kurt Warner wanting to sign something. But I think he even had a pen. I said, no, Kurt, sorry. Can I get through here? I just want to go to dinner.
I gotta go to
I don't even think I was allowed through at first until I went and bitched at security. I said, I don't want to be here for an autograph. I want out. So sorry, Kurt. It was nothing personal. I think he felt bad that we didn't want his autograph, but I'm not an autograph guy to boot. But I just wanted my free dinner. I didn't want it to pay.
Okay. Did they get you through? They got you
through. They finally got me through. I only got to the cafeteria with about a minute to spare, though. Yeah, I was pissed.
Okay.
All right. And I got one more of those. Now, unless you're old, you won't know this guy. But we were at Macalester College, I believe, in Minnesota. And there's a person in charge of summer programs, most places, that have nothing to do with athletics. So the guy's showing me around, and we walk in, and there's Irv Cross. Now, if you're old, you know who Irv Cross was. If not only was he an all-pro football player, but he was an announcer back when there weren't many. Now there's 8 channels and 19 announcers on each one. I think back then there were like maybe 7 announcers total because there was only one game on a week and one talk show, and Irv Cross was one of the guys. So I'm in awe. I'm thinking, that's Irv fucking Cross. And I'm trying to talk to him, and he says, when are you going to be in the gym? And then I said, hey, NFL Today, how was that? And he's not listening. He wasn't rude, but he wasn't friendly.
Why was he there?
He was the AD of Macalester College. I did not know that when I walked in the gym. until I saw him. It was like when you've only seen a guy on TV your whole life, and all of a sudden you're right there next to him, you're like in awe. But I think his last comment to me is, "What time will you be out of the gym?" And then I just said, "Screw it. This guy doesn't want to talk to me." So
no small talk at all.
No,
Nothing. All business.
Nothing,
Okay.
no. He wanted the hell out of there, and I don't think I saw him the rest of the week. Since I was going to be in the gym all week, he decided to stay the hell out.
Gotcha.
Okay, those are the 3 from camp. Now here's 3 that I was kind of in awe, and this probably happens to other people. You're kind of in awe of someone, but then when the situation changes, then maybe you're not so in awe. And the first guy, I don't know if you ever heard of Tito Francona. His son is Terry Francona, who's now the manager of the Cleveland Guardians. Mm-hmm. I still like to call them the Indians, but I'll be PC here and call them the Guardians.
That's a first.
Yeah.
PC part. Yeah.
That's right. Well, Tito Francona was a pretty well-known Major League Baseball player, so I was kind of in awe of him. And I'm coming out and playing high school basketball. He's the referee. And I'm thinking, damn, I'm telling people, that's Tito Francona. He played, I can't remember who he was playing for then, but I'm like, oh, my God. But like I said, things change in a situation. By the second quarter, it was like, fuck, Tito, he's grabbing my arm. What the hell's the matter with you? So my experience with Tito was, I mean, I never met him, but by the end, he probably thought, who's this pain in the ass? Because, yeah, I was bitching at him the whole time. Second one is a local guy, Jim Haslett, who, was he the head coach of the Saints for a while? Yeah, and he was a coach of the Steelers, and he played for the Buffalo Bills.
IUP.
At IUP, yeah. And so, he's kind of a big-time personality. I'm coaching against him in 7- and 8-year-old girls softball. And when I first walk on the field, I think, oh, wow, Jim Haslett, wow, this is great. And I never actually end up saying anything to him either, because once you get into the game, my team did kick his ass, by the way. I was like, fuck you, Haslett, let's go. And yeah, my team was pretty good that year. So yeah, he might be some NFL big time guy. And I think is he coaching in the XFL now? I think.
Is he one of those?
I think I saw him. But yeah, I'm 1-0 against that son of a bitch.
And I imagine he's competitive to where that didn't sit well at all, even for 7- and 8-year-old girls softball.
He was kind of like Belichick. He never really, I tried to smile a couple of times once we got the lead, and it didn't do any good. And now the third one of being in awe of first is Jay Silverheels. Oof. You don't know him by that name. He's Tonto. He was Tonto of the Lone Ranger. The real Tonto.
How about that?
Now, he came to the Meadows racetrack, and I know the live audience, Guru and Tiny, you've been there. And if you haven't, it's kind of cool. It's harness racing, but you're right on top of the drivers and the action. I mean, they have this one big race every year called the Adios, and I've been there the last 3 years. Even getting there late, I get right on the damn rail at the finish line, and you can yell at they can hear everything. But if you're there on a weekday, there's 12 people there, and only 3 are outside. The other ones are inside in the casino. So it's a great venue to watch racing. But anyway, I'm thinking, okay, Tonto, they got to give him the horses. They're fixing this thing. He's got to win. And I don't have a lot of money, but I don't have a lot of money now. I don't have Barlow money.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't have any money back then, but I said, Tonto's got to win a race. So I'm betting on him. He's losing. And like I said, I think they said he was coming in for a week. So usually I would only go once a week most. I kept going down there, and he kept losing. And like I said, you're right on the action.
So this wasn't like a celebrity thing?
He was a real, but just for a week. For a week.
Okay.
By the end, when I'm losing all my money, fuck you, Tonto. Don't you know how to damn drive? You're okay bareback with the Lone Ranger, but you can't do this shit at all. So
the harnesses handicapped him.
My interaction with Tonto turned out to be not so good either. I think I was, college age then, and he was getting older. So I thought if he jumped over the railing, I had a pretty good chance, unless he really knew some Indian shit. I don't know if he did or not.
He put a curse on you.
Cordo. Okay. That's those three that I was no longer in awe of. I was in awe at the beginning, but at the end, no, I didn't even like the guys. Okay, now here's 3 baseball stories. The Charlotte O's used to play when I lived in Charlotte, and their field had burned down, and they had to put up this makeshift bleachers and all this stuff. And so you're right on top of the action. I mean, you weren't back at all. And I'm going to tell a long story in a segment in the future about a really funny episode. But this one, we were there, I think it was like a Saturday afternoon, me and a few friends. One of my friends, Vern, and I were great hecklers. And that's going to be the main segment someday. But on this particular day, I can't remember who the O's were playing. And this big, goofy-looking guy was on the mound. And the O's are just kicking his ass. He's walking, guys, and when he does put it over, the O's are cracking, and we're yelling, "You big, ugly son of a bitch, you can't pitch." We're yelling all this stuff. And he gets knocked out of the box. The O's are ahead like 10-1 at the end of 5, and he's already out of the game. And we go down to get a hot dog, and we're sitting at this little picnic table, and my one buddy said, the big pitcher's over there buying a hot dog. That's minor league baseball if you've ever been there.
Yeah.
My buddy said, "Hey, big guy, come over here." I said, "Oz, you can't say come over here." He's going, "Yeah, he recognizes he's going to kick our ass." He comes over. I'm shaking. I really am. I'm looking, where can I run out of here? Because a couple times I did have to run out of there. I really did. But in this case, he comes over, and thank God he didn't really put 2 and 2 together. And my buddy started talking to him. It was Randy Johnson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
6'10", and now he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
That dude would have messed you up.
Oh, big time. Big time. Like I've said in other episodes, I wasn't tough when I thought I was tough. No, Randy would have messed me up big time. Thank God he never put 2 and 2 together and knew who I was. And because he and my friend had a pretty long conversation.
Oh, wow.
My buddy was telling him, actually, he said, "Stay away from the curve, throw the fastball," which he ended up doing, and did pretty well with it, by the way.
Did okay.
But yeah, in that case, I didn't know he was the Randy Johnson. He was just some big, ugly son of a bitch that the O's had kicked his ass.
Wow.
Now, the second one is the guy that was the president of the O's, and his name was Roman Gabriel. And he was a big-time NFL quarterback, and this was before they had 32 teams. Put it in you guys' terms, he was almost like a Joe Montana, Dan Marino type in my mind, because I grew up watching him, and he was just a big NFL star. I think he played for the Rams and the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, big star. He became president of the Charlotte O's. And you'd see him, but, never said anything. But one day we're watching a game, and I'm with a bunch of my buddies, and we had been drinking a lot. But one of my buddies said, "Roman Gabriel starred in a movie with John Wayne." And I said, "You are so full of shit. Roman Gabriel was a quarterback, and now he's the president of the O's. He's not an actor." And my buddy said this, like in about the second inning. We gave him shit for the rest of the 9 innings, okay? But this time, I had done a lot of these.
There's a shock.
And I told you that the field had burned down, so the executive offices were a trailer. But I'm drunk. When you're drunk, your inhibitions go down, your balls get a little bigger. I go knocking on the door after the game. Someone answers. I said, "Hey, can I talk to Roman?" I thought for sure they're going to say no.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Roman comes over. I said, "Hey, my buddy, I want to go back and tell him he's full of shit." None of my other friends would come up to the door.
Oh, you went by yourself?
Oh, yeah. They all thought I was an idiot, too, which I was. Did you star in a movie with John Wayne? As it turned out, he said, "Yeah, it was called The Undefeated." And he played this Indian. I've seen it since. He didn't have many lines. And he said, and that's when I found out I'm not an actor, and that's why I'm in this trailer right now. So he did have a good sense of humor about it. We had a nice conversation, or not a long one, but a little one about but he actually, my buddy who we gave shit for 2.5 hours
was right.
Yeah, he was right the whole time. He had it exactly right.
Well, don't make that a movie of the week, because even if you already gave it away, I'll never heard of any of that.
Okay, well, okay, if I won't do it by character, I'll just say Roman Gabriel. Maybe you'll remember that. John Wayne, Roman Gabriel. And there was some hot babe in there. I can't remember who she was. And my third baseball story, this really isn't I don't know if it's worth telling or not, but what the hell, I'm telling it. The Pirates won the World Series in 1971. And me and a few high school chums, we had been drinking beer and watching the game. We were all fired up, and we said, let's go downtown. We didn't know that's what everyone was going to do. They were having a makeshift parade through town, okay? The closest we could park, when you're going down 79, and back then, or actually 279. Back then, there was no 279. Though. You went down McKnight Road, and the first little ramp you take to get on the north side, there's a little bar right there. It used to be called Helen and Joe's, and then it was the Transformation Room or something. That's not it, but something like that. Now it's the Hungarian Club, I think. But it's right there on the corner. That's the closest we could get to the park.
Okay.
But the city's going crazy, and we had to walk all the way downtown, and you're like 12 deep. Like, I think I saw Roberto Clementi's arm. They're going through in these convertibles, and you can't see anything. So me and my buddies, we said if we get separated at a certain time, we didn't know where to say to meet. Let's meet at Three Rivers Stadium. We walk over to Three Rivers. After battling, I think it was 150,000 people came into the city. There's like 10 people at Three Rivers Stadium in the parking lot. And Richie Hebner and Willie Stargell, their convertibles come in.
That's awesome.
Hebner is crazy drunk, bottle of wine in his hand, leading cheers with 7 of us. There were 7 of the 11 people. 4 didn't really even care. I think they were there I think there really was a band concert. I don't even think I made that up. And Stargell was just kind of sitting back. It looked like he had a few, and we came by and shook his hand, and he just looked at us and didn't say a word. And Willie was my favorite player too, so I guess I'll tell the second encounter with Willie. For some
Is this on the original list?
No, that just came up.
Okay.
But it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It was between sessions. It was one of the times the NCAA tournament was in Pittsburgh. And I had a good buddy that, because I would never be allowed in this place, he rented a room upward at the top of the U.S. Steel building. There's a real nice restaurant and bar.
Triangle or something.
Yeah, top of the triangle.
Top of the triangle, yeah.
Like I said, I had never been there. Mm-hmm. But the room wasn't quite ready when we got there, so I decided to order a beer. And I look at the table, and there's Willie Stargell sitting there. And I went up and said something to him, and he said, I get that all the time. I'm not Willie Stargell. And I said, sorry to bother you. Then he dies a few years later, and I read a book, and it says, he did that shit all the time. Yeah, that was fucking him. Yeah. He said, I don't want this asshole bothering me alone. It was absolutely him. This is how little he wanted to talk to me. Sitting by himself in a classy bar. I wasn't going to be there more than 3 minutes because I had a party next door. Right. He still just lied right to my face.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. And so my first encounter with Will, I don't even think he shook my hand the second time. At least he shook my hand the time he was real drunk. And now I'm going to throw 2 more in here. These are just kind of loose leaf. They don't really belong in a category. Now, do you guys know who Jim Lampley is?
The tennis? He's a tennis announcer?
He's an announcer.
And he does boxing, too.
Yeah, he does a lot of boxing. And he used to do football, and he was on ESPN when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
Also did NASCAR.
And he did NASCAR? They do that bullshit. He did real NASCAR, not that bullshit you watch. Now, that shit in Texas where you tell me your damn prediction. I'm sorry, audience. This is Guru. He's a good guy, but he follows sports like he watches the Ocho. He watches when those toasters race each other, you know. So anyway, all right. Now Lampley's got to be famous enough now because I've already talked about him enough. My brother was having I'm going to call it a gig. It was some big, a lot bigger than a gig. And he brought all these famous people in. Well, my job was to go pick up Lampley at the airport and take him back at the end. And we're talking normal stuff at first because actually he was from Ohio, and I had a buddy that played for Ohio State. So, and Lampley has like a photographic mind. He just... he remembered. I told him about a couple of plays in the Ohio State Michigan game back in the early 70s, and he remembered them. And they were inconsequential plays. But anyway, he remembers. So I'm talking. And then last week I talked about sometime you say something when you wonder whether you push the envelope a little too far. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm with him for Lampley for 25 minutes here. We've broken some common bread. We're buddies. This is, like I said, at the very beginning of ESPN, and there was one woman announcer, Gail Gardner. And after a while, I said, "So what's the deal? Did you fuck Gail Gardner or what?"
Oh, Jesus.
He looked at me like, "What the fuck?
What are you?
Yeah." I said, "No, you wanted to at least, right?" And so why Lampley is famous and I'm doing a podcast and 6 people are listening is because he was smart enough to stay out of the fray.
He also did NFL Live when Bob Costas was busy doing baseball. So
Okay, so Guru says he also does NFL Live. Are we going to get him a damn microphone? Yeah, okay, all right.
Bring another
All
thing
right.
over for the
All
table.
right. Okay.
You could do that.
So, but anyway, he stayed out of the fray. But this is kind of funny. When I brought him in, one of my buddies, the guy that called Randy Johnson over, I brought Lampley in, introduced him. My buddy said, "Hey, what about Gail Gardner?" And he said, "What is it with you two damn guys?" And then 2 days later, when I took him to the airport, we talked about it a little more. No, he didn't want in.
He's still.
Yeah. Okay, and here's my last one, I promise, for today. I'm at Key West, and we're at Kelly McGillis's restaurant. You know who she is?
I feel like I should know the
She
name.
starred in Top Gun.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Okay. And she also starred in a movie with Harrison Ford called Witness.
Oh, yeah, where she was Amish.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, you got it. All right. So a few times in my life, I've come across women of where I had them in higher stature. Usually it was like local TV anchors that I kind of had a crush on. 2 times I can remember in particular where I had a chance, and one time I was closer than us two, and I had a chance, and nothing would come out of my mouth. Not one word. So we're at the restaurant.
Who was it?
It was. You don't remember? Her name was Margaret Shortridge. She was an anchor when I first moved back. It would have been like in the early '90s, and I happened to be actually. I could have put this in there. It was at a Bill Clinton press conference that I had to drive people to, and they were all lined up. And yeah, it was a small room, but they were all lined up, and I had to walk up, and they weren't moving. And I said, I got my chance with Margaret Shortridge. And the other one that I choked on was, I couldn't get anything else, was Wendy Bell. I know you don't like her, but I love her. And I couldn't get anything out with her either. Nothing, not one word. And I swear, with Margaret Shortridge, it was this close, and not one word came out. And I was just so embarrassed. So I said, okay, this is my shot here. We're at dinner, and we kept asking, is Kelly here? And they said, yeah, she's in the back. We thought they were bullshitting us. And they kept saying, yeah, we'll bring her down. And they didn't. But I'm thinking, okay, if I get my chance, I got a line. Now, unfortunately, my wife's with me. It was my whole family thing, my 2 brothers, my father. But I said, when I get my shot, I'll try to get away from my wife. I got the line. That's going to work. And damn it, my wife never left my side. So I met Kelly and talked to her a little bit. But I was going to ask her in reference, not ask her, comment. And I think this would have been good, too. I was going to tell her, because of the movie Witness, you're the reason that every guy in America wants a fucking Amish girl.
That's terrible.
You don't think that would have worked?
Terrible.
It would have been better than. And I'm guessing she's heard regular lines, so that one I don't know.
It might win for uniqueness, but I don't think you're getting much further than you would.
Well,
choking.
okay, here's a bigger question. Would it at least a little bit after that she turned gay? You think she'd at least kept her on our team if I at least threw that out there?
Or make her change sooner, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I wish if my wife would have just left my side, if she was on the other side of the 8 people,
right.
I would have used that damn thing. But I just thought that was going a little too far with my wife, not with Kelly. But that ruined my chance. But if Kelly, if you happen to be watching, you are the reason.
There you
go.
And
I still want you Amish women out there. Okay, we're going to be back up next with the fact of the week. Once again, we're not here just to entertain. We're here to inform. Here's your fact of the week. Joanne Calment was 114 years old when she appeared in a movie. She's the oldest person to appear in a movie, and she appeared as herself in a movie about Vincent van Gogh. It was obviously a foreign film entitled Vincent et Moi. I'm sure I mispronounced that. I took Spanish, not French, in high school. But she actually knew Van Gogh growing up, and that's why they asked her to be in it. But here's what is her comments about Vincent van Gogh. He was ugly as sin, had a vile temper, and smelled of booze. Now, if Vincent was living, he'd be a perfect person to do this podcast with. Oh, boy, would he fit in. That sounds like us to a T. So, Joanne died at 122, 8 years later. But if you ever watch that movie, you keep that in mind about Vincent van Gogh. And before we go to the next segment, I just want you to know this shirt's not feeling right. I'm going to change my shirt. Wonder if it stopped it from popping that pee. What do you think? We're going to talk about some concerts now. And a lot of different things going into what makes a concert good or why you didn't enjoy it so much. Sometimes it can be something as simple as who you went with or the venue or just the whole situation of it. And this is going to be mostly Tiny's segment because he's a lot more experienced at this than I am. But just some of the concerts, I mean, I've seen the Stones 4 times, and to me, that's like almost historical to see them. So that fires me up. But just some other concerts I'll throw in. One time in Charlotte, I saw George Thorogood, and Heart was playing at the big venue at the main Charlotte Coliseum. So only about 3,000 people came to see Thorogood. And as a matter of fact, his warm-up was Johnny Winter. Do you know him? Edgar Winter's brother?
I know Edgar.
Johnny can play the shit out of a guitar. I mean, he was good. But then here's what I liked about this. They didn't put seats on the floor. Everyone just stood there. And we're standing over there having a beer, and then, Thorogood's starting. It wasn't a rush to the stage. It was a slow walk, and we're 3 deep. I mean, his sweat's flying off, and he's making eye contact with us. And that's kind of nice that we didn't have to battle a whole crowd, and it was like that. And along those lines, Jay Gals was maybe my favorite group at the time, and they were playing at in Pittsburgh, the Stanley Theater. I think now it's the Benedum.
Okay.
But we went down there, and first of all, I was psyched to see Jay Giles, but my date that night was the girl I referenced last week about the trailer hitch, and she brought cocaine.
Wow.
And I had never tried it before, and I liked it. This could be a whole nother segment. Thank God I'm poor, because that could have been a problem.
Yeah.
But so we go in there. I don't even know how I parked. We go in. My ticket said, I just bought them regular. My ticket said row AA. So I thought, okay, it must go to Z and then AA. AA was the front damn row.
Nice.
And I had no clue. I'm looking past Z. Hey, where's my damn thing? And they said, up there.
Nice.
So, yeah, I didn't have to rush the stage. I mean, it would have had I, but yeah, I took one step and I'm right on there. I mean, Peter Wolf, I high-fived him a couple of times, and just that whole thing made that pretty damn good. And then I saw Alice Cooper in Charlotte one time. I don't want to get too much into it. Like I said, this is your segment.
He's still touring.
And this was called The Nightmare Returns. And maybe I will tell this story.
Mm-hmm.
He has this dry ice, so it's all this smoke, about waist high. And this girl's singing with him the whole time. And all of a sudden, she falls.
Okay.
And he picks her up and punches her in the face. And I'm pretty no coke, but a little bit of this. And did you see? As it turned out, he set us all up. That girl sang the whole time. It was a dummy dressed exactly like. So when he picked her up and punched her, we all thought of it because it looked real as hell.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I like Alice Cooper anyway, but that was such a great. So that's just a few things. The Clarks are a local group that we both like, and I know one of them. And when he would acknowledge me, that kind of made me feel like, hey, I'm important now. But we're going to turn this over to Tiny, and but I'm going to start with a question. Then it's his. Tiny has seen Metallica 59 times. Let me say that again. 59 times Tiny's seen Metallica. So I'm going to open this with a question. Why the fuck does someone go see the same group 59 fucking times?
I don't have a good answer for that other than it just, yeah, you just have to. Every time, it's not one of those, oh, hey, they're coming around, you have to see them. I don't know. You got to experience the tour.
And it's not that they come around 59 times. You go see them. And have you ever, and then like I said, I'm turning this over.
That's fine.
Have you ever calculated how much money you've spent?
It's probably best that I don't know. Because, I mean, actually, that's one of the things I have. I mean, I can go out of order. You asked me to put a lot of this together. No. The most I've ever seen them in one tour is 7 in one set tour.
Do you get the same amount of enjoyment out of all 7?
I don't know. There's like this weird. I don't want to say it's enjoyment. I mean, yeah, I enjoy going and I like that experience. There's certain things to relate to. I almost want to say it's like an obligation. It's weird, like because you're involved with the whole part of it. I mean.
No, you're in the fucking crowd. You're not
I know, but there's the sing-alongs and all that. And it's the only way I can relate to people. I hate to say, like, I don't really relate to people all that well.
Yeah, what they all know.
Yeah,
you're not telling them anything.
No, but I don't know. People have like shows they watch in common and whatever. I don't relate to any of that shit. I don't know what they're.
When you went to the first one,
yeah,
I imagine you were fired up because you like Metallica.
Sure.
Did you have any inkling that 59? You got 2 more coming up, right?
So I sit at 59 right now. I will be at 63 at the end of the year. Okay. They're playing twice. Now there's some debate. They're playing 2 sets each show. So they play like Friday, Sunday. So to me, that's 2 shows. Because you can buy individual tickets. Absolutely. It's actually no repeat this time where they're not playing anything the first night. They play the second night. No repeat. Yeah. So you're hearing like 4 hours of music.
That's pretty damn impressive.
2 nights.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm at 59. I'll be at 63.
At the first one,
yeah,
you knew you're going to, you didn't know you're going to see them 59 times or 63, but you knew you wanted to see them again, right? Obviously.
So the first time I saw them was 1993. I wanted to go to a show before, but I wasn't old enough. It's funny. I became a fan of theirs right when all the like diehards said they sold out. The Black Album came out in 91, which was my exposure to them. I never had really, I'd seen things with them, whatever, but the Black Album comes out and they blow up. Well, a lot of the like diehard fan base is like, that's when they stop liking the band. And I'm like, wait a minute, these guys are cool. What did I miss? And everyone's now you're you're one of those guys, the undesirable fans that they don't want to, be a part of because they sold out and made a music video and went mainstream, which that's a generic way to say that. But the biggest thing I take away, 93 was the first time I saw them. The energy at the show was something I've never experienced prior to. Like you could just feel it. And the only thing I could tell you, because I've experienced this at 3 of their shows, the closest thing I've ever felt to that is the wild card game for the Pirates.
Okay.
When Cueto pitched that blackout game.
All right.
You could feel it, right? Like as soon
I want to go to 59 of those. Yeah.
As soon as you walk into that stadium, you could just feel the energy there. That is something. And maybe it's like the way the heroin addict talks about trying to chase that feeling after you do it. I think that's part of it, is to try to get to that. Because, there are certain things when I go to a show, when they play the intro, they come out to the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Really?
When he's running through the field with all the crosses at the end. That's what they come out to.
Really?
And so when you feel like look, just talking about it, I'm getting goosebumps talking like that. You feel that again. Goosebumps. So yeah, I don't know. No, what makes me go back all the time? I don't know.
Have you ever been to a bad one where you thought, man, this one sucked?
No, I've never been to a bad show because they are actually, I mean, of course, they're no Taylor Swift and whatever she's doing, but they do put on a really good show. You mentioned the Alice Cooper thing with the stunt. So in like 97, they put out a video. They called it Cunning Stunts, which is a play on words, right?
We better not say that after a couple more beers.
So they did this thing where during the one song, the set list, the stage has all these malfunctions. Like the one light thing falls over, and they set a guy on fire, and they do all this stuff, and it's all show. Like, so no, they always put on a show. What I do, which is weird, is I'll watch for certain things that I know they mess up live, and if they mess it up, it like bums me out. Like there's the intro to Master of Puppets. There's the beginning part, which a lot of people know now because of Stranger Things. Are you familiar with that show?
I'm not.
Well, it's popular again, even though it came out in 1986 because of this show on Netflix. But the beginning part, they do this thing where the beginning, if you play it too fast, it sounds a little muffed. And if they miss it when I'm playing live, I'm like, oh, they missed it. That sucks. So no, I don't know that I'm ever disappointed, but there's certain things like that where I'm like, oh, look, they screwed that up.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Go to some stats here.
Yeah. So you mentioned this, the seven that I saw, it was 2018, 2019. I saw them 7 times. They did this really cool thing where they called it the black ticket. And so if you purchased a black ticket, I don't remember what it cost, but and this might be a segue to a question, but I don't remember what it cost, but it
must have been a lot.
It wasn't as much as you think, because if you went to like 3 shows, it paid for itself. So I went to 7. It was Pittsburgh, State College, Buffalo, Philly, Cincy, Cleveland, and the last one was in Grand Rapids, which was really cool because all the black ticket holders and I will tell you, so part of that tour, there were 34 shows. Now, see, you make a big deal out of the fact I've seen them 59 times.
I am.
I can tell you, and the people that I've talked to in this world, that's low. That's a low number. I'm not saying you're the only fool in the damn world. Well, you're the one you know.
Yeah. You're the one I'm closest to.
Yeah, I mean the one last time I saw them in Pittsburgh, the guy was at 150. They made a big deal out of it. Yeah. So, but the thing with the black ticket was you could go to any show you wanted. So there were 34 shows. If you bought this ticket, you were eligible to go to. They're doing it again, but they've changed it a little bit.
You couldn't go to all 34, could you?
I knew 2 guys that did all 34.
Seriously?
Yeah, there's a guy. Yeah, Mike Mueller, who he certainly isn't watching this, but he went to all of them.
Why the hell aren't you watching them, Mike? Number one, I know why, because you're too busy freaking traveling.
Yeah.
Does Mike Mueller have a job?
So, but some of the things I've only seen them on one continent. At the time they held a record. They played all 7 continents in 1 year. It was 2013. I don't know if that's still a thing, but at the time they were the first band to ever play all 7 continents in 1 year, including Antarctica, which was a special show they did. They did it in this like glass bubble where they brought in some contestant winners from South America, and they didn't even have amplifiers to not disturb the wildlife, right? So the only thing you could hear was Lars on drums.
Much wildlife's in Antarctica.
I don't know who they're disrupting. Like maybe they'll
couple seals. Thought we beat all them to death.
Well, were they going to cause some kind of glacier to break off? I don't know, but that was one thing. I've only seen them once. Obviously, Pennsylvania is the most.
And wait a minute, these people from South America they brought in, they were winners.
Winners of some kind of contest. I don't remember the story. There's only like 40 of them.
How would you like to be in a contest and you win and you get to go to Antarctica? I would think they were the losers. So, okay, one more serious question.
Go ahead.
Do you think a lot of groups have this kind of not religious, but following that where people, or is Metallica kind of unique as far as that goes?
I mean, maybe in the genre, but I mean, look at all the Deadheads, man.
Oh, okay, you're right.
And you know who else?
The Deadheads cross them off.
Yeah. My buddy Jason Butts, who is listening now, so you said to mention names for Jason Butts. his brother,
Hi, Jason.
his brother Scott, he's a huge Fish fan, and
Okay,
Fish is one.
I know way less than this about you, but I knew Fish was kind of like the thing that came after the Deadheads.
Yeah.
The same kind of thing.
Yeah. So I think that's, again, in their genre, I don't know that they have people as faithful. I don't know. See, guys like, I don't know if like Maiden, I don't know. To me, that still goes to an older generation where, hey, I saw them, I check them off my list, and if there are newer ones, look at like Taylor Swift.
Oh, I don't think you can afford to go to too many of those damn things. You're right. She just played here the last 2 nights, and matter of fact, driving up here, you wouldn't believe how many Swifty cars we passed on the way.
Yeah,
Now, I gotta say one thing: if you're a single guy, go to a Taylor Swift concert. I was watching them, the people coming in. It's all chicks.
Oh, yeah.
It's all chicks.
chicks.
It'd be a great place for
I couldn't agree
dude
more.
to go.
Yeah,
I should have freaking gone down there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I only know her songs because of Tori listening to it, but they're all the whiny. I can't do it. I can't do it. So other quick stuff. You asked me to put this together. I don't personally find it all that interesting, which is why the intro song is what it is. But outside of PA, I've seen them 9 times in San Francisco, which is probably the most interesting of all of them because they usually all represent something significant. 2003 to 2021. 2003, that was when, they have a documentary, Some Kind of Monster. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's worth a watch. It's on Netflix if you have it. It's really good. 2003 was the first time they got together to play live. They were practicing for an MTV Icon show that it was them getting back together. And they, of course, had a new album to promote, Saint Anger, which is very controversial in the Metallica world. A lot of people don't like it, but we got to go to 2 shows before for them. It was essentially a practice for them to do a show on MTV. And then 2011, I was there for 2 of the 4 shows for their 30th anniversary. They did 4. I got to see 2. They played at the Fillmore, which only holds like 1,000 people. So that was really cool. 2016, saw them at the historic Fox Theater in Oakland. You talk about front row. We were front row for that. That was one of the few times Misty went with me where we were front row, and she got to see Rob Trujillo, their bass player. She was all happy about that.
How many has she gone with you?
Less than 10.
You are a wonderful husband.
Yeah, it's probably 5 or 6. They used to have a festival, which I wish they would bring back, the Orion Festival. And that was really cool. I've seen all songs on all but 2 songs from their first 5 albums played live.
How many albums do they have?
They're up to 12,
you write down all those freaking stats.
No, I don't have that one. It's 12 or 13, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on, speaking of, so in 2019, do you remember they did a thing with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra back in the 90s?
I read that.
So they did a second show for that at the 20-year anniversary of it out in San Francisco, and I was there for that. They made an album on it, so I make my live debut on an album from the S&M because I'm in the stands for that one. So I was there for that, and then in 2021 they did their 40th anniversary. I was there for both shows for that. So 9 times in San Fran, 59 overall, 4 more this year. I don't know. Next year I'll probably do Chicago. So probably at least 4 more next year. They're getting older. They're all over 60 at this point. So,
This concert's going to get smaller, shorter and shorter. Yeah.
So I'll wrap it up with this. You make fun of the whole number of times I've seen them because we are going long now, but I went through all the other bands I've seen live. I'm double digits on my top 5. Are you?
Wow. Go ahead.
So Machine Head is another thrash band from San Francisco area. I've seen them 27. The Clarks, I've seen them more than 20 times.
I might be up to 10 at the Clarks. I'm not sure. I'm close.
Yeah. And then this band called Clutch. I've followed them. I have a friend from high school that's a huge fan of theirs. So I've seen them. I have it here at 13, but I bet it's higher. That's the ones I can prove. And then the last 3 I couldn't really tie together because they played a lot of festivals: Slipknot, Lamb of God, and Slayer. I've seen them all more than 10 times. I don't know exactly where because I didn't have all the stuff available, but they've all played festivals. I have a good friend, Ron Poole, who I don't know if he's listening yet, but
He better be, damn it.
I might not have told him. But Ron has a great connection to a lot of cool festivals, and I've got to see a lot of cool stuff and experience a lot of cool things from that. And those guys have always played a lot of those, so I see a lot of shows with him for that. So, but my top 5 for sure are all double digits. So I don't know that Metallica's all that exclusive. It's just a really high number compared to the rest.
Well, I'll wrap this up by saying now I see why you like it when I talk most of these segments, because you get to drink a hell of a lot more. Yeah, I'm almost done with this beer. So as these keep going on, expect some slurred words here pretty soon. According to Tiny, this is our most popular segment. How the fuck he knows that, I have no idea, and he doesn't really know that. But this is the movie game, where I give you characters in a movie, and you see if you can guess the movie. I give them to you one at a time, so you, the viewer, can play at home. And Tiny will play. If he knows it, he'll just tell me, but he won't say the movie, so you, the viewer, like I said, can play at home. So first, I don't know if you're going to get this one or not. You were so good at the beginning, but then I did shittier movies, and and this is, once again, this is a movie I liked, but it didn't really win any Oscars. Okay, first person is Kirk Kettner. Guru, Tiny? No. Nor. Next one, and the last names aren't that important because you really never hear them. Molly McLeish, but Molly is the big thing. Kirk and Molly. Nothing? Okay.
I can't say that I didn't.
Then I have no more last names, by the way.
Ooh.
We have Devin. We have Cam.
Oh, man.
How about, if any of you got there, got
It's
it?
supposed to get easier?
I think, yeah, well, the next two are
okay.
The next two are is going to make or break you. And yeah, if any of you out there got it, I think you're full of shit. But this name, even though she wasn't a big star, is kind of a weird name. Marnie. Okay, this is the last one. This is your last guess, everybody. And this is Stainer.
Stainer?
No good?
I still got
Anyone else out there got it?
Stainer.
Yeah, okay. Kirk, Molly, Devin, Cam, Marnie, and Stainer. It is She's Out of My League.
Oh.
I think it was a really good movie. And
give me a timeline. When was...
okay, I can tell you exactly. 2008.
Oh.
2008. That's when they filmed it. I think it came out in 2009. And here's a few facts about this movie. Alice Eve played the girl that was really good, hot. She's Out of My League was a really hot chick with an average looking dude. And probably the funniest part of the movie was Stainer talking about the point system and how you can't get a woman that's not within 2 points of you. And he was saying Kirk was a 4 and she was a solid 10. So, and then he said, if you have a good car, you go up 1 point. If you're a musician, you go up a point. He was in a tribute band for Hall & Oates, and he was giving himself 2 points. And they said, you don't get 2 points for that. But anyway, and the other thing, it was all filmed in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
All filmed right here in Pittsburgh.
Who were the actors?
They're not very famous.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
But anyway, Molly's parents were played by her real parents.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of weird. They had to film the bar scene they filmed a lot of it at Mellon Arena. Matter of fact, I might have been in this movie because they showed a crowd scene, and at Mellon Arena, I used to sit in section F. At the beginning, it only had A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D. They built in E, and then they built in F. Like, we had no bathrooms.
Isn't that the one that was limited view?
No, it wasn't limited. No, actually, it was great because they built it out over the ice. The seats were great, but no bathrooms. One time, a guy had an epileptic seizure, and they couldn't get him out of there. They just had to kind of hold him up as he. Oh yeah, I shouldn't be laughing about it, but it was pretty fucking funny. So anyway, they had to finish this, do all the bar scenes at this place called Pluma in Irwin, which is now closed down because the Penguins went real far in the Stanley Cup playoffs and they weren't expecting them. That's where they lost in the finals to the Red Wings, I think. But they couldn't use Mellon Arena like they thought they could. And then the last thing, this girl that hung out in my office, gorgeous woman. I called her my China doll. She was an extra in the movie. And she got there, and I knew this would happen. She's in the scene at the Andy Warhol Museum at the very beginning. But she's there in every damn scene there. I think they kept moving her because she's so pretty. And after filming one day, we were having graduation, and I was at the front door, and she came up early in the morning just looking great. I said, "Where'd you come from?" And she said, "Filming, but I had to sleep 2 hours in my car so I could make it here." And she still looked just by far the best looking person of the 8,000 people who were at that graduation. But I do recommend the movie. I don't know if Siskel and Ebert did, but she's out of my league. You'll get some laughs out of it. And by the way, I had to change from that other shirt, but this feels better. That other one was too tight. Good. Thanks.
Okay.
It's time for our Choose the Woman segment, and this is F, Marry, Kill, and we're going to also ask our live studio audience and of one. And we're going with, this was a friend of Tiny's that gave us a lot of good suggestions. We did read it, Marshall, and we'll get to them. But today we're going exactly what you said, F, Marry, Kill. And these are all women that either played Wonder Woman or voiced over Wonder Woman. So it's Gal Gadot, Linda Carter, and Lucy Lawless, who is actually Xenia the Warrior Princess, but she did voiceovers in animated Wonder Woman. And those are our three choices. We got to fuck one, we got to marry one, and we got to kill one. And I'm kind of new to this. The one you like the best you marry, right? Or is it like real life where you don't get to fuck them? or not very damn often.
Well, usually I go the practical route with the marry. That's how I always
me
go
too.
about
But
it, yeah.
on the fuck one, do we just get to fuck them once?
I think that's the premise.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
it's like a one and done.
All right.
Yeah.
Guru, you want to go first here?
Sure.
We'll fucking go then.
I'd say the voice animated one.
Lucy Lawless?
Yeah.
What are you doing with her? You're killing her. Okay, you're killing her. Who are you marrying?
I'm marrying 1970s super.
Linda Carter.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you're fucking Gal Gadot one time.
One time.
Okay, all right, there we go. That's from the Guru. What do you got, Tiny?
I just did a change here. I'm changing mine. I'm actually going to kill Gal Gadot. I think I've never seen the movies. She's nondescript when I sit here and look. If I didn't Google what she looks like,
I just want you to know Gal Gadot was a real person in the Israeli army, and she'll kill that motherfucker before he kills her. But okay, this is your thing.
Because she's completely nondescript. At least the other two, I have a mental image of what they look like or looked like at some point. So she's out.
Okay.
So then I'm gonna F Xena, Lucy Lawless,
and you're killing Carter.
No,
you're marrying Carter.
Yes.
Okay, we're all different on this. Though.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I love Gal Gadot. I love her. I'm marrying her and being with her the rest of my life. And this isn't nice, but I'm going to kill Carter.
Wow.
And I'm going to fuck Lucy Lawless because if you've ever seen Xenia Warrior Princess, like I said, if we're only doing it once, I don't like to fuck someone that would kick my ass, but one time I do. So yeah, I'm fucking her, killing Carter, and I'm going with Gal Gadot to be with me the rest of my life.
And here, I thought we were all going to be the same.
No, we were all different.
Did. Yeah.
How about that?
Huh,
okay, tune in next week for another one of these.
Stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. Shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity.
Just want you to know, because we love you, the viewer, We are not taking a week off like we were going to. We're going to be on next week and the week after that, and we're not going to take a week off for quite a while. So, or at least till you go see Metallica, I think, or we get sick of each other. But anyway, as of right now, keep tuning in every week because we'll have some new bullshit for you.
That's right. And follow us on YouTube. It's at PGH Dive Bar Talk. You can subscribe there, or you can search. But if you just do YouTube / at PGH Dive Bar Talk, you can find us there. And we're not doing this for money, but if you subscribe, that's what we're asking you to do. So,
And if you want to send us money, we'll take it, of course.
we'll set up a PayPal account.
I don't know how to do that.
We'll make it happen.
Okay. See you next week.
See you.
I has such teeth there, and it shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old Maggie, babe, and it keeps it out of sight. You know that shark bites with his teeth, dear, scarlet billows.